Hi everybody, it's Miss Puzio, grade 3 HMH and in today's teacher-facing guidance video, I'm going to be using Pear Deck again. I didn't want to use Jamboard just because I feel like I've used that a lot and you probably are well versed in Jamboard. Even though we've used Pear Deck before, I really want to focus on using the free aspects of Pear Deck. In one of my last videos, I used Pear Deck Premium, and although I showed you how to get a Pear Deck Premium trial, I want to show you what you can do with the free aspects of Pear Deck to make some of the existing Google Slides, these really amazing Google Slides provided for these lessons, a little bit more interactive, whether you're doing it synchronously or asynchronously. So there's a couple of different things you can do with the ones that are not premium. So this lesson starts out, using vocabulary, and as you review the vocabulary, the check for understanding here is use the word in a sentence. What is a synonym for? What is an antonym for? So what you can go and do is the blue box is obviously where the students would write. And if you go to add-ons and you go to Pear Deck, let's check out what is premium and what's not. So draggables and drawing are premium. So obviously the drawing feature is an amazing feature and the students would just be able to just to draw right on there. But what you can do is where it says text. So for example, use the word in a sentence. So let's say we had text. Adding an interactive question. So students, write your response. So when the students see this, they will be able to at least type their answer. So that gives them an option as well. Okay, so that's just another option for when the students cannot draw. Okay, so then we have theme here, and this focus question is, what is the author trying to teach me? So I feel a lot of the time it's really important, especially with reviewing skills, even though the skills are spiraled a lot in interreading. The students might know what theme is, point of view is, author's purpose, main idea, central idea, but it can have very difficult time explaining it and remembering it. So what's really great about Pear Deck here is the template library. So we have beginning of the lesson, lesson builders. So before you engage in theme, we can kind of get a wonder about today's topic. You can kind of assess where the students are with it. So I'm going to click, what do you wonder about today's topic? And that's just going to add that slide in just to gauge kind of like an entry ticket with the students. So it already comes here, students write your response, because the drawing is a premium feature. So it says theme here. So I'm going to change this just to write down anything you remember about theme, just so we can get a nice pulse of the class. Right, and then we'll get the responses from the students. Write down anything you remember about theme. Okay. Then it says here, identify theme, distinguish theme from topic. So we have the lesson objective here. And then here you're, working through the introduction and the model with the students. And then you're reviewing what theme is with the students. So it says here, what does it mean when we say theme? Use theme chart to review. After we read this tale, we ask ourselves, what is this tale trying to teach me? So we're just reviewing that with the students. And once we get to here, it says, after we read, we will discuss what the characters learn and teach us. So a really important part of, I want to say, this lesson is this anchor chart here, I would say. So what I would do is really focus on the anchor chart. So in fact, I would make another slide and I would just duplicate it here. And I would just make this a little bit bigger. I'm just going to delete this, and I would just make this just a little bit bigger because I want you to just focus on this theme anchor chart with the students. I feel like it's really important. And as you're teaching it with them, I think you should ask them some questions because it's really important that they remember what theme is and know what theme is before you go ahead and begin, reading the passage with them. So when we go back here, now it says during lesson. So you have some during lesson templates, and one of the really awesome slides is the true or false slides. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, and then I'm going to show you an example of a true or false question. So let's say you're reviewing the theme anchor chart with the students. Theme is the main message, lesson, or moral of the text. So I would just put that right there. The theme is the main message, lesson, or moral of a text. There you go, true or false. Okay, and then students would choose an option. Then you can go back, review some more of the questions with the students. So it says the theme can be stated in a text, what happens to the characters. So we can ask like, maybe a question that might be false. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to right click and I'm going to click duplicate slide. And I'm going to say the theme is always directly told to you by the author. So we know that that's not true. Sometimes you as a student or as a reader has to figure it out. Okay, so that's a nice little take a little pulse of the class as you're reviewing the anchor chart. Okay, so then as you're reading with the students, okay, you're reading through the passage, we can embed these questions here. What happens to the characters? How do the characters react? What do the characters learn? How do the characters grow and change? So what I would do is I would add a slide. Where it says summarize what you just learned. Okay, and we can change that. So as we're reading, I'm going to say like right here. What happens to the characters? I'm going to add that right here. And you could switch it around wherever you think it will go. So instead of just summarize what you just learned, you could put what happens to the main character, Nancy. You can scaffold as much as you want. Okay, and you can even change this picture here. You're not married to that picture there. Okay, and then the next anchor question here is, how do the characters react? So, we can right click on here and duplicate the slide. And then we can scaffold a little more if you want to, help guide them. What happens when a Nancy does not get his beans right away? So, these are kind of like leading questions to guide the students into, accessing the theme. What did the characters learn? How did they change? So run again, I will duplicate the slide. How do the hot beans affect a Nancy? What do you think he learns from this? So ways to scaffold and ways to kind of change those questions. And finally, back at the end of the lesson, and you can always change all of these slides. Over here, you have circle how you are feeling. In 1 minute, write the most important thing from today's lesson, connect it to your own life. So when we're doing theme, I think that's really great because usually the theme is something that students can connect to their own life. Okay, so what's great is, see where it says here, students draw anywhere on this slide. Since this is a built-in template from them, this will allow the students to use the draw feature on there. Okay, so I think that's a really great thing to add on to the end of the lesson. Honestly, because of connecting to your own life and with theme, I think I wouldn't change anything here. What's something interesting you learned today? Can you relate this to something in your own life? So I think it's a great way to connect that to theme. So this is some of the great things you can use with Pear Deck Free.